All right. Thanks, Pete.
Clean it up.
Look at that.
Clean it up.
Yeah,
You're
good.
good. You're good. You're good.
So I'll start.
Yeah.
All right, so
we're good.
you're rolling?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Thank you. Thank you. So we'll start there.
All right. Got to welcome Democratic Caucus Chairman Pete Aguilar to Behind the Scenes with Bourbon. It's awesome to have you here, Mr. Chairman. So the first thing I'm going to ask you, because this is Behind the Scenes with Bourbon.
Okay. Yes. No, we're very behind the scenes right now.
What does it actually mean to be the chair of the Democratic Caucus? 'Cause I don't think people know that or appreciate it.
Well, I definitely don't do enough of this. That's what this means. As chair of the Democratic Caucus, as you know, you stand for an election in November. All of us do that to represent our constituents back home. And then some of the leadership positions happen after that. So in November, one of the first things you experienced, Morgan, was a leadership election. Thankfully, it wasn't contentious. And so some of us raise our hand and ask for extra assignments. And so my job as caucus chair is to guide the meetings that we have when it's our family discussions. The morning meetings that you go to each week where we hear the agenda for the week. Those are the things that I get the privilege of guiding and serving at the leadership table. So thank you for the support and friendship, and thank you for being here, and thank you for inviting me.
One of the things I didn't realize about the Democratic Caucus chair before I got here is it's actually the very first leadership election that the caucus has.
That's true. Yeah. So we basically have like no rules for the first couple minutes there, and the election of the chair is the first. So we actually use the old rules, and then we elect the chair first, and then the chair guides the elections that happen after that. So after the chair, it's the leader or speaker, depending if we're in the majority or minority. And so that was the first one. So I was batting first, so I had to do well.
One of the things, I think is cool that we've had great leadership in the Democratic Caucus, as people have seen. Now it's the younger generation of leadership, and you and I are about the same age. Even it's so cool that you've been here. Now you're in such an important leadership position. Also, Dad. One of the things that I've enjoyed talking to you about. Tell me about that's like for you. What it's like being a parent and going back between Washington and California. How that works.
You're definitely much younger than me, but I have a lot less tread on my tires than you. No, I mean we both have that in common, that we're helping to raise young kids. We want them to be amazing people, and we have these jobs that have some aspects that are just so important. But we also got to be present at home, and so those things. My commute is 8.5, 9 hours. If I want to get home and I say I want to go home like right now, like that's what I can expect. So it's difficult. It's tough. It's kind of half day, full day travel on each end. But the work that we do is so special here. My kids have had the opportunity to meet the president, to see and do some cool things. And so, I hope that those are the stories that they remember, and that they don't remember that, I'm not there a couple days a week, but they're just amazing human beings, and Alicia does such a good job with them at home. So I look forward to getting back there this weekend.
Yeah, I think it sounds cliche, but it's true. The family runs for office, right? When
Yeah,
you run
for
office,
sure.
The family runs for office, and it's funny you mentioned the kids. I brought mine up here this spring, and of all the stuff I've gotten to show them, all the stuff they've gotten to do, the house gym. That's
Really?
what they thought was the
No
single
way.
coolest thing.
Oh my gosh.
The mat. By the way, this gym's like made in the 50s, but there's the mat that has the seal of House of Representatives. They just like tumbled around and were doing cartwheels and jumping jacks.
Yeah,
That's the cool thing.
You can play a little basketball, shoot some hoop there.
Yeah.
You can do that's really funny. That's really funny. No, I mean and you've got young kids. My kids were 5 and 8 when I got here. It's not easy, and so thanks for what you're doing. I know you've served at the State House. You've seen a lot of different aspects of this here. I mean, I'm going to turn the tables on you. So look, what's your advice? I served in the minority for 4 years when I first got here.
Yeah.
You've only known the minority. Right?
This is true.
So,
don't rub it in, but yes.
So look, my job is to help. I want you to see the majority, but what are your tips and tricks to working with colleagues on the other side of the aisle? What did you learn at the State House, and how do you apply that here?
Yeah, I think what I did in Frankfurt. Thanks for asking. What we did in Frankfurt is people I think believe bipartisanship means to agree. And I found that bipartisanship means to listen. And if you go in and you're willing to listen, you can actually find some solutions. You can find some common ground. We have bills up here that we pass every week even that have those bipartisan solutions. But also, people respect you when you stand for something. And so it doesn't mean you cave on your beliefs. Come up here, stand for something, tell them why you oppose something. But I always tried to keep it to the policy and not make it personal. It's when you make it personal against somebody, particularly in a state legislative environment where there's fewer of us, we're all really close and next to each other. If you started personally insulting somebody, that wasn't the way to go. But if you kept it, I don't like this policy because it does X, Y, and Z, I'll listen to you, we can work on these things, that usually get a glass of bourbon afterwards. Worked out.
It probably doesn't hurt.
I think the bourbon helps.
Yeah, I think you could host a few of our colleagues and they would be fast friends of yours.
One last question for you, Pete. Okay. We're on the baseball team together.
We are.
This is one of the most fun things that I've done since being a member of Congress. Tell me, I've not had that first experience of the game, the camaraderie. Speak a little about the baseball team.
Look, for old guys who think they are young, this is amazing. I mean, this is so much fun. I remember the first game I played in, walking into that stadium. You're on a major league stadium, and you see this full crowd, and it's a bunch of our staff members who were there, cheering. Maybe they had a little bit of brown water, on the way in, but it's just such a great environment. And to see our colleagues on the other side of the aisle, we tease them, we kid them. But when we're between the lines, we want to beat them. Just like when we're writing legislation, we want to win. And so everybody here is competitive. And so I think that's what I have appreciated. It's just a fun experience. I mean, there's a day of kind of activity that goes into it. And it's just a tradition here. I mean, Democrats and Republicans have played this game. Leadership goes there. You'll see the speaker there. You'll see Hakeem. You'll see Pelosi. You'll see, all these folks. I mean, Pelosi was sitting in the front row, cutting, budget deals, the last game, and she's in the front row on her cell phone, and you can see, and she's talking to Manchin, and she's talking to Schumer, and you're just this is who we are. So it's a ton of fun.
All right, last one. What was your first concert you ever went to? What was your last concert you ever went to?
Oh my gosh. So this is pretty funny. I'm going to be totally honest here. I think my first concert, I was into punk rock as a kid in Southern California. And so I definitely remember, No Doubt, Blink-182. I mean, there's just so many that actually became real people, and we're seeing them in these little shows. It was a showcase theater in Corona, California that we went to, No Effects. I mean, we saw all of these folks multiple times. We hung out with them, we knew them. So it was really funny. That era, so I was probably 13, 14, 15 years old. I don't remember which particular show, but it was definitely one of those. So cool. Voodoo Glow Skulls, I mean, all these bands. My last concert was actually maybe a month ago. I went to see Taylor Swift in Dallas. So that's really the edge of the spectrum you're seeing here. I mean, from punk rock, Pete to Taylor Swift, but she is an amazing performer. Okay. And no matter what your music taste is, I think to appreciate her as a singer, songwriter, performer. But yeah, she's also, I think, an athlete too. I mean, she did a 3.5-hour show, 40 something songs. I mean, it's with 2-minute breaks, 3 of them. So she put on an amazing show. It was a lot of fun, and so I was excited to be there. Took the family to that one.
That's cool. Well, this was behind the scenes with Bourbon. We'll do more drinking the next time you do this.
I mean, or you just shut this off.
We'll shut it off. We'll shut this. We'll do that. That's what we'll do. Cool.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Morgan McGarvey, appreciate you. Thank you,
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
I wasn't joking.
Yeah.